Republicans holding statewide office have been few and far between in California in recent years. The governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, being the last to do it, but the Grand Old Party has struggled to find broad appeal here. Something that seemed to start changing a little last November when Republicans won 4 competitive state House races. So, with a recall election in the offing that may catapult a Republican into the state's top job, where does the party stand? State Republican Party Chairwoman Jessica Millan Patterson live with us now to get at those answers. Welcome to Fox 40 News at 11.
Thanks so much for having me. Great to be with you.
Fox 40's Inside California Politics team hosted a debate for recall candidates just last night. None of them endorsed by the party. Party leaders decided against that. Why, Chairwoman, would you say that the Republican message offered by any one of these candidates is the right one for the state right now? Voters have not thought that way over many years.
I think Californians have reached their tipping point. They have seen what one-party rule and over the last year what one-man rule can do to our state. Whether it's the 20,000 businesses that had to close permanently over this last year, parents who watched their children finish a second year in remote learning, or, people who have lost their livelihoods and their homes in these wildfires, that this governor told us he had a plan to do prevention and then lied to us about what he actually executed on. Californians are ready for change here, and we're going to bring it to them September 14th.
You're the first Latina to lead the state party. Latinos make up the largest ethnic group in the state, normally considered to be a Democratic stronghold when it comes to voting. Despite efforts to support farm workers during COVID and other kinds of outreach to minority communities like Project Roomkey to address homelessness, Hispanics are the only racial group solidly in favor of the recall. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that my community has been hurt probably the most by this governor. He enjoyed, with what exit polls said, about 64% of support of Latinos coming out of 2018. But at the end of the day, what we want is to make sure we have a good job so we can provide for our families, a good education for our children so they have a better future than we had. And of course, keeping our safe streets. And this governor and California Democrats have failed on every single one of those issues. Your recent poll showed we have 54% of Latinos that are supporting the recall efforts. It's because we've done a lot of work over the last 2.5 years at the California Republican Party. We've been showing up, we've been talking about issues, and we've been letting them know we care about their problems.
Pointing to another one of your firsts, you're the first woman to lead the California Republican Party. According to our latest Inside California Politics poll, talk show host Larry Elder is leading the pack of those challenging Governor Newsom in this recall election, with 22% support among those surveyed. But Elder has been quoted in writing and as saying that women know less than men and that women are, quote, easier to manipulate. Comments fellow Republicans have called him out about on debate stages this week, with the party trying to broaden its appeal and given your history and position. How do you take those words and the fact that he may end up as a standard bearer for your party in this state?
Well, our focus is on question 1 at the California Republican Party and making sure that we recall the worst governor in our state's history. Each one of these candidates is going to have to make the case as to why they would be the best to replace this governor, and they're all going to have to answer for their own records. My job at the California Republican Party is to make sure we get question 1 and recall this governor across the finish line.
And so no direct reaction at all to what a leading Republican in this recall election, Larry Elder, has had to say about women in leadership like you?
Each one of these candidates is going to have to answer for their own record.
Alrighty, the constitutionality of the recall process is being challenged since, with a lawsuit saying it's wrong for the possible replacement for Governor Newsom to advance with fewer votes than the governor may receive. What do you think about that reality since the vote proportions, are changing?
I think that it's another desperate attempt by California Democrats, whether it was changing their own recall laws that they put into effect a few years ago when they were trying to save then Senator Josh Newman from recall and moving the date up because they thought it would benefit Governor Newsom this year. This just looks like another desperate attempt. California voters aren't falling for it. And while they're already out there voting, no amount of photo ops, no amount of money, and no amount of manipulating our laws is going to change the fact that we are going to recall this governor come September 14th.
And we have a little less than a month to get to that actual election day. Ballots in the mail, obviously, this week. Thank you so much for sharing your insight with us this morning.
Thanks for having me. Great to be with you.